What if I told you that buried along America's highways and hidden in small towns are museums so bizarre you'd have to see them to believe them? Imagine a place devoted entirely to ventriloquist dummies, or a gallery filled with nothing but mustard. Yep, you heard that right. If you think museums are always silent halls of fine art and ancient artifacts, think again. America takes museums to a whole new offbeat level. Hey everyone, welcome back to Factual America, the place where we explore the wildest, weirdest, and most fascinating sides of the United States. Today's journey is going to completely change how you think about museums. Forget about ancient mummies and classic paintings for a second. We're heading into the realm of the quirky, the peculiar, and the downright extraordinary. From one-of-a-kind hair wreaths to a tribute to the world's most famous canned meat, we're uncovering America's most bizarre museums. Trust me, you don't want to miss these. If you love discovery and leaning into the weird side of life, make sure to stick around to the very end, because some of these museums will absolutely blow your mind and maybe even inspire your next road trip. Let's jump right in. Our first stop, the Spam Museum, nestled in Austin, Minnesota. That's right, there's a 14,000 square foot monument to the iconic blue and yellow can. At the Spam Museum, you'll witness an endless wall of Spam cans and interactive exhibits that celebrate this legendary product, which has fed everyone from World War II soldiers to hungry college students. There's even Spam sushi, and of course the chance to test different flavors. Literally, the only museum where you might walk away both entertained and well-fed. Feeling curious? Next up, we have the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. This one's for all the Bigfoot believers, Loch Ness monster hunters, and Jersey Devil fans out there. Here, you'll find casts of mysterious footprints, supposed hair samples from unknown creatures, and artifacts tied to stories people have been telling for generations. Whether or not you believe in cryptids, this museum is a fascinating dive into the monsters that haunt America's wild places, and the human urge to keep searching for the unknown. Down in Philadelphia, the Mutter Museum awaits, and let me tell you, this is not your average science exhibit. The Mutter has been giving visitors the creeps and sparking their curiosity for over a century. Imagine walls stacked with real human skulls, preserved organs in jars, and medical instruments so odd they look like props from a horror movie. Want the ultimate shiver? Check out the Soap Lady, a body exhumed in the 19th century, mysteriously turned to soap through a process called saponification. The Mutter Museum is both stomach-churning and mind-blowing, showing just how weird and wonderful the history of medicine can be. Let's pivot to something delightfully silly, the National Mustard Museum in Middleton, Wisconsin. With more than 6,000 types of mustard from over 70 countries, it's a love letter to the world's most overlooked condiment. You can marvel at mustards in every flavor you can imagine, and plenty you can't, including blueberry, tequila, and garlic. There's even a free mustard tasting bar so you can discover whether Dijon or honey mustard truly deserves top spot. Believe it or not, this quirky museum attracts mustard lovers from across the globe. Traveling to the south, we find the incredible Vent Haven Museum in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. This is the world's only museum dedicated entirely to ventriloquism. Yes, the art of throwing your voice. It features over 900 ventriloquist dummies, some dating back more than 100 years. If you've ever found these figures a little creepy, you're not alone. Walking through Vent Haven is like stepping into a dream, or maybe a nightmare, where hundreds of wooden faces stare back at you, each with their own story to tell. For those fascinated by the dearly departed, the Museum of Death in Los Angeles is a destination like no other. Here, the macabre takes center stage as the museum displays everything from crime scene photographs and funeral ephemera to artwork by infamous serial killers. It's intense, haunting, and not for the faint of heart, but it's also a sobering look at how society confronts its darkest realities. Maybe you fancy a trip to Layla's Hair Museum in Independence, Missouri. This is the only museum in the world solely devoted to hair art, specifically intricate wreaths and jewelry made from human hair. In the Victorian era, these sentimental objects were treasured keepsakes. Standing among thousands of hair creations, you're reminded how deeply people long to preserve the memories of loved ones, a little weird, but undeniably touching. If you prefer something a little more, let's say, utilitarian, how about the Kansas Barbed Wire Museum in La Crosse? This museum boasts the world's most extensive collection of barbed wire, over 2,400 varieties. While that may not sound exciting, barbed wire literally changed the American West, ending the era of open ranges and sparking the so-called range wars. Walking these rows, you realize these little twisted wires shaped the course of American history. Of course, America's love of the unlikely doesn't stop there. In the Colony, Texas, you'll find the Toilet Seat Art Museum. Started by Barney Smith, a retired plumber, this museum showcases over 1,400 toilet seats, each turned into a unique piece of artwork. Some feature family photos, some commemorate historical events, and some are just beautifully weird. Who knew a garage filled with toilet seats could inspire so many smiles? And finally, let's stop at the Museum of Bad Art in Boston, Massachusetts, a place devoted to the worst of the worst. Here, you'll see art so misguided, it's genuinely entertaining. Each painting is lovingly curated, sometimes with a backstory, and sometimes with a sense of humor only a true bad art aficionado could appreciate. It challenges the idea that art has to be good to be meaningful or fun. These museums reveal something essential about America. In a nation that celebrates freedom and individuality, even our museums are wildly different, sometimes kooky, always passionate tributes to the unusual. They attract collectors, enthusiasts, and now the curious traveler like you and me. They show us that history isn't just written in textbooks. It's also told with mustard jars, mysterious monsters, and even toilet seats. Now, I want to know, what's the weirdest museum you've ever visited? Are any of these on your bucket list now? Or better yet, do you know a hidden oddball museum that deserves some recognition? Drop your experiences and suggestions in the comments. And if you enjoyed this quirky cross-country tour, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating American stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode here on Factual America. Remember, the next time you find yourself somewhere in the United States, look a little closer. You just might discover a museum that's stranger, wilder, and more unforgettable than anything you'd expect. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep it factual, America.